One of the most famous investors out there is Michael Burry. He's the one behind the movie The Big Short. And it was a fun movie to watch, but more importantly, he really made a great call on shorting the subprime market for mortgages, and he became very famous and very wealthy, very respected. I wanted to take a look at his portfolio and see what he's investing in and see if I can draw some comparisons to my portfolio and see where he's going, see if I can learn something, become a better investor for 2025. He's got some positions that are very concentrated in two areas. The first one is China. If you look at his investments, he's got a significant position in Alibaba, Baidu, JD, Pinduoduo, and those are four of his top seven positions in his portfolio. China makes up about 52% of his portfolio. So he's really betting big on China, which isn't a bad idea in 2025. I'll show you year-to-date results for his top holdings, and you'll see that he's doing really well in 2025 because of China. The other area is healthcare. He's got over 24% of his portfolio invested in healthcare. He's got Molina Healthcare, HCI Healthcare, Brucker, and Oscar Health. These are really solid positions. And in the case of Oscar, this is a real small company. And healthcare is doing really well. It's the top performing sector in the United States. So he's 2 for 2. His portfolio must be just crushing the first quarter of 2025, while technology focused funds are probably really suffering big losses. The top five positions in his portfolio are doing quite well, with the exception of one. Um, Alibaba is up 65%, and we're 2.5 months into the year. Baidu up 12%, JD up 22%. Estee Lauder, which is a consumer discretionary stock, that's down 2%. You can't be perfect, I guess. And Molina Healthcare is up 12%. And Oscar, I know Oscar's up about 18% because I'm an Oscar Health investor. So he is cleaning up in 2025. Just a really successful bet on China and healthcare. Alibaba is one of my big positions, and it's doing really well. It's up 65% year to date. It has a market cap of $317 billion. And that's really makes sense because this is the biggest publicly traded stock in China. China is the second biggest economy in the world, growing faster than uh, the economy here in the US is growing. So it's a great place to be. The forward P is only 14, and it's a strong buy according to analysts. Overall, I have a buy on Alibaba. I still think it's discounted just by a little bit. And overall, I think this stock's going to continue to work in 2025 because the China economy, I expect, is going to do really well exporting to around the world and exporting to Latin America, Africa, Middle East, Europe, all these different places. They don't have to depend on the US to grow. They can grow around the world and be very competitive. If you watch my channel, you know that I discount companies based on their free cash flows and trying to get an intrinsic value of those companies based on free cash flows. And I also look at earnings per share. And when I look at Alibaba, I have a 14% discount on the stock. And so it's gone up 65% in 2025. It had a good 2024. And I think it has more room to run. The fundamentals of Alibaba will continue to improve, and this valuation will continue to change. I do it at least once a quarter, especially around their earnings. I might update the valuation twice a quarter. So this is my most current valuation of Alibaba. It is still a buy for me, and it's discounted by 14%. A lesser known company is Oscar Health, but boy, it's really been picking up value in 2025. It's up 18.75% year to date. It is a tiny cap, 4 billion, and its revenue is 9.18 billion. This is a health insurance company focused on small businesses and individuals, which is, I think, a category that Oscar Health can really grow in because the big guys, United Healthcare and others, they don't want to touch the small business area. So they leave it up to companies like Oscar Health to take care of. So I think they don't have a lot of competition against the big, strong players in the space. I think they're going to grow for some time, maybe get up to 20-30 billion dollars in revenue, and I think their valuation is going to double, triple over the next year. Oscar Health has terrific growth, and based on that growth and the fact that they're already cash positive and profitable, I have a valuation on the stock that puts them at a 61% discount. So I am buying shares of Oscar Health, trying to build a big position in Oscar Health. So far, so good in 2025. And I'll continue to buy shares in this really high growth business. So Michael Burry is really making the right calls in 2025, and I'm going to keep following his portfolio. For a while, I have to admit, his portfolio didn't make sense to me. A couple of years ago, I think he was in sectors that didn't quite work. But now in 2025, boy, he's really cleaning up. He might be the best performer for 2025 that I've seen. I haven't seen them all, right? But I've reviewed Bill Ackman, I've reviewed Warren Buffett, I've reviewed Pat Dorsey, as well as a few others. And this portfolio is the one that's performing the best. So I'm going to keep a close eye on it. So that's my video on Michael Burry. I hope you found it interesting. And I appreciate you watching. Please leave a comment. Let me know what you think of Michael Burry.